What's up, everybody? This is Automatic Jack coming to you live from my house. And I am here to give a shout out to one of my new subscribers, one of my commenters, Ian B., who helped me out like crazy with my Blood Angels deck. So we're going to take a quick look at some of the tweaks that we've made. I think it makes the deck stronger overall. Played some practice matches with it last night. I was admittedly in my cups a bit, so it was kind of hit and miss, but I don't think that was the deck. I think that was me. So I think the key change that Ian helped me realize needed to be made was that I was basically ignoring Sanguinius's Reckoning. Sanguinius has a Reckoning card that starts off at 20 energy. It drops 1 energy for every infantry or Astartes that dies. And while my deck was pretty troop heavy, it was all Astartes, and it was not really ever getting there to the point where Reckoning was helpful. I can think of literally one game where Reckoning ever did anything positive for me, and mostly it was just a dead card that sat in my hand. So that is a major downside, when you're going to have this card guaranteedly. So we made some changes. Put in some Fasadian infantry, which are not only cheap infantry that can just die, but also add card draw to the deck. I took out one of the Mellor squads because I feel like I was not getting full value for the Mellor squad. It was originally, the theory was I was going to have a lot of drop pod. Mellor squad buffs drop pod, therefore include Mellor squad. The thing is, when you draw it on turn 8, what does it do for you? What does it realistically do? Like, you're not going to be able to play that and a host of angels unless it's like turn friggin' I guess theoretically turn 8, but even then it requires both cards. It's really just not doing that much for you. At that point, the opponent is going to have some big AoE. That extra 1 hit point per drop, I don't know. Also now included the Righteous Zealot, because each Righteous Zealot is really 2 infantry that the opponent has to kill. In many ways, they are stronger than the Clonidas squad, which is going to get its drop pod popped regardless. I did leave 1 Clonidas in there just because I feel like, 1 more early threat card, but I dropped it down to 1 instead of to 2. So we've got these Righteous Zealots in there to give us a little more infantry. So technically, this is 4 infantry that I've added to my deck with these 2 slots. And if I get both of them out early and they both die with their buddies, then it's just 4 points right off that Requiem, and it makes Requiem a lot more attainable. So we've left in the Blade and Carmine, of course. That is, I feel like, pretty core to Sanguinius. I'm kind of debating Tiborel. I'm not sure that I get the value, but he is a 6/5 for 5, and he is a very, very threatening drop pod who has to be taken off. So we're still running the Foresight. We've still got our Prophecy revealed. I'm going to try to use that as best as possible for card draw. Still running our Hermias. I feel like having 2 Hermias is pretty useful because we've seen lots of games where we just do not connect. We're not getting a Hermia. If we have 1 Hermia in the deck, like, you get a 1 in 30 chance every time, or 1 in whatever 27, something like that, after the first cards. So otherwise, the core of the deck remains pretty similar. Still got the Amicus. We dropped down the Dawnbreaker cohort to 1, just because, like, again, usually, if you're behind on troops, they're not winning you back a lot of tempo. Tempo is the name of the game with this deck. Like, we're really, really trying to stay ahead on the board. So we've got things that are pretty sticky, like the Zealot. We have things that draw us more cards, so we have more options. And those together, this additional, essentially 6 infantry between these 2 guys, is going to do a lot for dropping our Reckoning into reasonable territory where we may be able to actually play it in a way that's meaningful. So let's take a look. We're still missing our key missing card here in the Blood Angels. We're still missing a second Eli Janus. I would probably consider dropping the other Dawnbreaker cohort to get another Eli Janus if I had the option. Just because, if he lands, it's almost game winning against a lot of Warlords because he's coming out on turn 3 if you can get him, and that stun early prevents them from, early on in the game, that Warlord attack is a very useful removal tool, and Eli really kind of craps all over that. And on top of that, I mean, he's a 5 attack sneak attack troop, so his low health isn't great, but he does a lot of work if he can get on the board. So we would love to see another Eli. But let's take a look at how this deck plays now and see if we can do a little work. Okay, so we get a Sergeant Cork right off the bat. Kark playing Cork, love it. Not great
We
draws.
fly on righteous
Not great
wings.
draws. The Host of Angels this early isn't really helping us. Balefire is okay, though. Balefire is significantly less okay against Sergeant Cork because he really prevents, it's not unstoppable. He really prevents a lot of flanking stuff because he's able to do exactly what he's going to do here. And never mind. I would say he's able to do, a lot of hitting our faces. In this case, Balefire comes out extremely useful. So we're definitely playing the Balefire. Take out the Armsman. And take out his 1-3. Get a little bonus damage there. So, yeah, okay. I mean, I think he would have been much better off there hitting us in the face and getting frontline up to prevent just such an eventuality. But in this case, here it is. Okay, so he gets his card draw boy. It's okay. We could kill it with an attack and prophecy revealed. He's pretty unlikely to run a lot of stealth. I don't know how likely his stealth really is, but setting up the Furvius is also pretty good. Now, the downside to Furvius is it gives flank to drop potters. It gives flank. And flank, in and of itself, only works if you have something that you physically can flank into, which you're not going to be able to do if the enemy warlord is doing his frontline thing. So we're gonna go ahead and prophecy reveal this. We'll toss in a little extra damage to his face without having to hit him, and we'll each draw a card. Okay, I don't hate that. We would love to see a Clonitus come out or even a Zealot. Extra draws for us. I don't know why I'm playing with my Mechanicum deck back. That's very strange to me. We'll try to change that. Hey, we get our Zealot. All right, so now we got a pretty good drop here. And we can kill that Farron's Militia. Sanguinius is great against removing Farron's Militias before they become a problem. So we'll take the drop pod power. We'll get the Zealot out. And we'll just murder the Farron's Militia. As I say, my guess is he slams both of these into this, but it prevents an extra phase damage. It gets 2 off of our Reckoning. We start to count down that Reckoning. Chaos Infantry troops apparently count for Sanguinius' Reckoning. Sanguinius does not discriminate as far as all that is concerned. Alright, so... I mean, the downside with Angel's Tears into Fasadian Infantry is he is essentially guaranteed to smack the Angel's Tears off the board. The downside to Matador Squad is he's going to be able to break the drop pod even with 3, and that leaves us with just the opportunity to hit him in the face, which is not all that good. And we only have 6 energy. So I think here that we will go with the Fasadian Infantry and the Angel's Tears. And probably just tap, because I think taking that extra 4 damage to the face if he decides to swing again, don't love it. We can always do it next turn. Cork can be a really difficult opponent. I mean, he is playing the deck fairly well in the sense that he's playing things that hide behind frontline well, which is very annoying. Oh, and he's got a Goldstone's Hunters, okay. Alright, well, we'll be able to draw cards with Furvius Command next turn. Unfortunately, we will not be able to flank very well. Disregard. We will definitely not be able to draw any cards with Furvius Command. That is just the sad reality of life. Don't have enough energy for the Crimson Spectre, but I think the Host of Angels is a pretty reasonable option here. Kind of gives him a lot more to deal with on the board, and it's really okay if he. I think we'll go ahead and hit him here, even though it's 1 point down. It's pretty okay because he's got these guys. Unless he has a way to heal this Joker company, then the Crimson Spectre can come in and wipe out his board. So if he puts out more stuff, if he puts out a Mortar Carrier, which is a very common choice for Cork, one of the best cards in the game as far as I'm concerned, especially for a warlord like Cork. Mortar Carrier does not relentless. Whichever the one is at the end of the turn. Look right here, resolution. It has resolution, deal 3 damage to a random enemy, which is a pretty brutal. Oh, that's a good card for us. That's fine with us. Yep, and then he's gonna pop a drop pod, but he's gonna lose his whole board. So we're still gonna be able to do some harm here. He was good about. Okay, Survivor 1 doesn't do any good because we'll still be able to. Oh, it does give it precog also though. All right. Well, I mean, we could Sanguinary Guard. No, we couldn't. I think we're best off just Crimson Spectering this. We'll Crimson Spectre this whole show. Get ourselves some extra damage, some extra cards. Do that for the extra harm being put into Cork's face. And we'll just go ahead and sack that. I mean, he's getting low on health. Now he has to choose. Getting low on health is an understatement. He has to choose essentially between healing himself or frontlining himself, and that's not what you want to see there. All right, so we don't have quite enough for the Sangos and for the Prophecy Revealed. That's unfortunate, but that's all right. We will go ahead and just throw this in. We'll get the Mellor squad on the board because there's really no reason why not, and we'll hit him in the face again. And once again, I mean, this takes away his best ability, which is to give himself frontline and more damage. He has to keep healing himself, because if he doesn't... Oh, he gets the spear. That's rough. That's rough. Yeah, he has to keep healing himself, because if he doesn't, he's in bad shape. Bad shape. Okay, so we can Prophecy Revealed here for card draw. We can just Amicus squad into Matador squad, and it doesn't matter anyway. All this was moot because we forgot that the extra 1 damage there was enough. Okay, so we see the deck being quite effective there. The Zealot's doing good work for us. I don't know if you noticed, but our Requiem or our Reckoning was down to like 12 or something at the end. With those troops on the board, the Reckoning would have been playable, and we would have had 20 plus health on him at a point where we were also in our Reckoning. All right, so let's take another look. I think is this Sevatar? Is this alternate art Sevatar, or is it just somebody else? Some other unknown Night Lord. We're definitely going to need those prophecies.
We fly on righteous wings.
Carry on. Okay, it's not Sevatar at all.
Sunless world. Charge! Glory to us.
Grim, dark, gothy kind of aesthetic going on with his flayed skin all over the place. Yeah, like I said, we need those Prophecy Revealed like it's nobody's business. We need it really, really badly. All right, we will throw out our Amicus, because theoretically the Amicus can put out some extra damage for us. At least it gives him like the necessity of, yeah, God, those Recon Claws are, I swear the Recon Claw is one of the most dangerous troops in the entire game. The Recon Claw is an incredibly good troop. Incredibly good troop. I think we'll set up our Hermia here, and we'll just swing for the face there, or swing for the troop. It's the lack of, I mean, we've got 2 anti-stealth cards in the deck. It is what it is. I forgot to change my mechanical card back. That's what's really screwing us here. That's what's really got us. Alright, a Furvious Command can at least get sufficient attack power to not get terrored, and we can theoretically then flank if he somehow manages to leave it on the board. Let's see if he does. If he leaves this on the board, then we can flank the Tiberel next turn, which would be pretty sick. Or if we get a small drop pod, we could flank with that. Yeah, the lack of anti-stealth here is just going to absolutely crush us. And unfortunately, we're feeding his beast here. Endroshek is an awesome legendary. He's a very good legendary. Maybe slightly less so at this meta where more people are running anti-stealth. You can see I'm not running sufficient anti-stealth, I feel like. But I don't know if putting more anti-stealth in, because like some warlords have no stealth at all. And then, you know, Prophecy Revealed is still a very good card. It's basically an upgrade to Informant Network. It's just Informant Network plus you kill when you draw. Or you draw when you kill. But what other anti-stealth am I going to be able to put in realistically? Alright, so I think we Sango off our boy here before he can do more harm. We need the value. We'll go for his face to get Zealots off, but all this is doing is just pumping out Endos Shrek. And Endros Shek. Might as well be Endos Shrek. He's an ogre. Still running abandoned supplies. That's interesting. It's not super common. What? What is that? I've never seen that before in my life. Oh, good God. Well, that's just brutal. Okay, well. We can get some boyos up here. I mean, we gotta get rid of that, obviously. We'll take out one of these displaced civilians. Actually, we'll do it this way. We will take out one of these displaced civilians first. We'll take out this guy first, or next. Then we'll take out this guy, and we'll hope that the Angel's Tears... Yes! Beautiful. The Angel's Tears managed to clear the board. Alright, so that was a strange card for him. We're not completely out of this. There's harm. I mean, there's harm. We're not looking great. But... Oh, okay. I did not think that was necessarily a place to jump out. I mean, he would have taken damage. Maybe he did not have good options in his hand. Alright, so we see again another card. Let's fix our card back here. So I don't know why our card back is what it is. What do we want? Glorious Custodes. No, we'll take Blood Angels. We'll take Blood Angels. There we go. All right, and let's have a look at another game here. Vulcan. How will we do with Vulcan? We get a Hermia early. That's good. We're gonna drop the Foresight. I feel like Foresight is a mid to late game kind of thing. Prophecy Reveal. Again, this is a deck that is not going to have a lot of stealth probably. It's just not. Righteous Zealot early though. Love it. Get the Zealot up. Start dropping that Reckoning. You can see from these past couple games, our Reckoning has been in much more playable range. Haven't played it yet, but it takes a pretty long game to play most of the Reckonings, other than Vulcan's, where, you know, Vulcan's Reckoning. Now, he almost well, creating a teaching is good. I don't know, hitting that to prevent the 1 damage may have been better. Maybe not. I don't know. Get another Zealot to replace this one when this one dies. We will get an extra damage out of it. And with Sanguinius's ability to power up the troops next to him, you could potentially get 2 more damage out of one of these 2-cost cards, because... Okay, in this case, only 1 more damage, but it does burn his action. He gets himself a very good teaching. Heals himself for 1, which I don't think that was necessarily a good place to play that, but I'm not him. And I think the Pervious is a pretty easy answer there, especially if we could just draw a drop pod troop. I mean, we're really looking for a drop pod troop to come out. We really need a drop pod, but they are Astartes, so it will, if he manages to kill it somehow. Let's see. Oh, we don't have quite enough for the Matadus and the Prophecy Revealed. But we can, however, flank in the Matadus, which is really, really good. Does this cost energy? It does not. That's right. Okay, so we can get the Matadus out there. That's beautiful. We can go for his face. to power up the Matadus. Then we can flank the Matadus in, creating more goodness for us. And Vulcan is just like, no, forget it. I am straight up out of here. All right. So we've seen this deck can really do some work. Thanks again to Ian B for the really helpful comments. Guys, this is the reason that I started the channel in large part. I mean, I love the game. I like to try to, you know, get if I get anybody else into this game, outstanding. I'm thrilled about that. But even more so, just the fact that you guys out there know a lot of things that I don't know, or see things in different ways than I see them. A lot of the time, it's like proofreading something. You're blind to your own mistakes. I was ignoring a powerful part of Sanguinius, that Reckoning card, and take a look. Well, we already know what it says, and it is kind of pointless to look at it. But well, and now I can't find it anyway, so forget it. We know that Reckoning is always going to be there. It is always going to be there. So using it instead of just thinking, the stupid thing is in my hand and I can never play it, makes a big difference. Really changes things quite a bit. So thanks again to everybody who looks at the channel. Love you guys, love the game. I will sign on again for a little more ranked gameplay in the immediate future. And for right now, I'm Automatic Jack, signing off.